welcome back to the Purple Podcast. This is episode number 14 now. I am your host, Austin Izard, and once again, I'd like to say welcome. First things first here, I want to apologize for my absence, but as I've said before, and as I'll say it again, life kind of gets busy sometime, and, this isn't my full-time job by any means, so just haven't gotten around to doing it. Some other things have been more pressing, I guess you could say. But anyways, we're back on here. I didn't forget about you all, I promise. I promise that. Sorry about that as well. But we're back in it. I'm in my bedroom shooting this one right now, or recording this one right now by myself. I have no guests today. But the plan is to have some people on later this week. So hopefully they don't bail. I don't think they will. Goddamn, that was terrible. But anyways, I'm back. I'm on the mic. It feels great. I hope you all have been doing well. I hope you've been taking care of yourself. It was a beautiful Monday today. The clocks have, I guess we sprung forward, is what they say. So it really did feel like spring today. It was beautiful weather. Stayed light up until probably about an hour ago. It's probably about 8:30 right now. Maybe even less than that. Anyways, very exciting time. As I've said before on here, February, it's a tough month, but here we are. March Madness coming up, which is what that later podcast is, supposed to be about. Cover a little bit of it, and we'll chat a bit about it tonight, but nothing too much. Saving that for the longer one. Right now, I'm just kind of checking in, wanted to get back on the mic, see how everyone's doing, and, just maybe cover a little bit of sporting news lately, because there has been a lot going on, just kind of touched on it. But before that, I hope everyone had a good St. Patty's Day kind of parade deal. I know it wasn't actually St. Patrick's Day, which will be this Thursday, so I don't know why everyone does it on the weekend before, but I guess that's just kind of how it's done. Anyways, I had a good time. Went over to O'Shea's. It was incredibly packed. Saw a little bit of the parade. And then, got a really bad headache, so called it a night. Didn't even go out. Was incredibly lame, but felt a whole lot better on Sunday, I'll tell you that. So I guess that contributed to my not so hungover self on Sunday, considering I didn't go out at night. But like I said, great Monday today. I felt really dumb at work today. It was one of those days where your brain just, isn't in it. It's not happening. You just feel really dumb and slow. So that's how I handled it. It was a very busy day as well. So the actual work day, not amazing, not terrible, but the day as a whole, I got back, went to the gym, which it kind of sucks going to the gym when there's such nice weather out, but I don't know. You get to get out, you get to see people watch, I guess. But anyways, got to the gym, got in the sauna, decompressed from the day, and here I am now. Went over a couple things, did a little notage as well, but other than that, that's what's been going on. I'm back on it. Good to be here with you all. Let's get into some sporting news. I'd say the first thing here, we're going to touch on a little bit of the English Premier League. My team being the Chelsea Blues. So I'm just not having great luck, I guess, with owners right now. First it was the Dolphins with Stephen Ross. Who knows how that'll end up playing out, where he was apparently incentivizing Brian Flores to lose games, which is not good. It is against the rules, so we'll see what happens of that. Don't really know. And the same thing here. So Chelsea's owner since 2003, Roman Abramovich, is a Russian oligarch, so he is being sanctioned and does not have access to his funds, basically. So we cannot sign players, and he's being forced to sell a team, which, okay, that's fine. And also, I also want to make the point that I don't want to be blinded by the fact that like this isn't as big. This isn't a big deal, of course. So much worse things happening. I don't want to make light of the situation, including the Ukraine and Russia. My thoughts go out to the Ukrainians. Pretty terrible things going on. This isn't a political podcast, so I'm not going to dive too far into it. But it wouldn't have made sense to not mention that, at least say that as much as I can, I'm thinking of those people and the hardships that they're currently going through. But getting back onto, I guess, the sporting side of it, who knows what's going to happen to Chelsea, which is my team. I guess they're going to be sold. I know there's been a lot of bidders already. I haven't dove too deep into it. So don't necessarily know who the options are at this point. But as for the team, I think some of the bigger losses, Antonio Rudiger, who's been a defender for the team, who's been in, my soccer knowledge isn't off the charts, but I would say he's been in pretty damn good form. So it would hurt to lose him, of course. And then there's another defender, Andreas Christensen. So we'll see what becomes of it. Currently, the team is sitting at third in the Premier League behind Man City, who has 70 points through 29 matches. Liverpool, who has 66 points through 28 matches. Chelsea has 59 through 28. And then Arsenal sitting at fourth, just jumped Man United on, I want to say it was Saturday. I don't know, to be honest. I watched the match, but anyways, Arsenal is in fourth with 51 points through 26 matches. So Chelsea, Arsenal, and Liverpool are on 5-game win streaks. So Chelsea's been playing well. I think up next, is it's a Champions League game against Lille, the second leg, which they won 2-0 in the first one. Chelsea did. So should be all right. Should move on in there, and then whatever happens of the whole owner situation happens. Can't really control it. Can't do anything about it. But anyways, back across the pond, back in the States here, the local team, Louisville City FC, had their first match on Saturday against Atlanta United 2, won 1-0. I actually caught a little bit of that as well once I'd gotten back from the bar and was struggling with my headache, but watched a bit of that one. It would have been nice to have better weather on that day because those games are really fun, but I think that definitely deterred some people from heading out there. But I'll make it out to a few myself this year. If you haven't yet, try to do that because it's probably the best sporting event Louisville has to offer, to be honest. Considering, the basketball team hasn't been great. I don't even know what you would even compare to it because, I don't know. Louisville sporting events haven't been great. The Bats, there's so many games, so, it's fun on a Thursday and things like that. But as it goes, those are the most fun, I would say, in my opinion. So moving on from, I guess, soccer at this point, a lot of news going on in the NFL. My team, the Dolphins, in the first day of free agency have been putting some work in. They got Chase Edmonds, the running back out of Arizona, who really good utility back, but he's not even just like a pure pass-catching running back. He's actually pretty decent out of the backfield, even though he is small. So really, really love that signing. And then we got Cedric Wilson as well. So he was probably, I guess he was a little buried on a stacked, like, Dallas Cowboys receiving core, but there's been some injuries in there. So last year, he was probably wide receiver, I would say 4. He only started 4 games last year, like 4 or 5 even, but had 602 receiving yards on 45 receptions and 6 touchdowns. So really like that signing as well. And then Teddy Bridgewater, Teddy H2O, coming to Miami back home. He's from South Beach area, but to play backup. So Really like that signing as well as a backup. And then we get Emmanuel Ogbah back, who's our leading pass rusher, and Mike Gesicki signed his franchise tag. So really good things I'm seeing out of the Dolphins very early in it. I think, we still have a whiles to go or a way to go, but, those are some good signings. Those are people that are definitely going to help. Those are Ogbah and Gesicki are two people we needed to get back, in my opinion. And we still got to address O-line, but there's much more time to do that, to address that. With the draft one, we don't have the best draft pick. I think we have the 30th in the first round. But who knows? We have a lot of capital in kind of cap space. So we should be able to sign some people here and there. Crazy-ass stuff coming out of Jacksonville, though. Christian Kirk, they absolutely sold out for him for whatever reason. Good player. I really like Christian Kirk. I know the Dolphins were looking into getting him, but not for what the Jaguars paid. I'm not sure the exact monetary value, but for reference, he is now the third highest paid wide receiver in the league behind DeAndre Hopkins and Julio Jones. So you might have paid a little too much, Jacksonville, because I don't think he's even in the same stratosphere as those players. Very good, like I said, but top 3 paid wide receiver in the league, that's insane. That's absolute insanity. I think they did something else too crazy. Let me see if I can't find it here. But some other news, J.C. Jackson, seeing him leave the Patriots, that's very helpful considering he was, I guess, maybe the best corner in the league this year, at least top 3. These aren't really names I'm seeing for Jacksonville. They've signed a guard to a lot, Brandon Sheriff. I'm so shit at lineman names. I couldn't tell you a thing about him, but J.C. Jackson leaves the AFC East, goes to the AFC West with the Chargers. The Chargers did another big move as well after J.C. Jackson, I think. I'm trying to think who it was. I'm not going to be able to right now. I'm on the spot, and I should have prepared more. But anyways, free agency starting off pretty hot for the Fins. I like to see it. I think we have some good signings. We haven't overpaid for anyone. We don't look dumb yet. We've brought back some integral parts of the team that we needed to stay there. So I think we're in good shape. And, only time will tell. See how much more stuff happens or how, man, I'm fumbling over words. But anyways, go Dolphins. Moving on to the aspect of the draft, who I like to say is the athlete of the Purple Podcast, Desmond Ridder. He's the spokesperson. Not officially. It's nowhere in contract, so please don't sue me, Desmond. A, because I'm your friend, and B, it'd be kind of pointless considering I'm still about $1 million short of being a millionaire. So really looking forward to the draft. I think it's in April. Can't tell you exactly what it is or what the day is, but it's definitely in April. With some people moving around, I guess there's some new options. There's some other places that he could possibly land. Did very well at the Combine, ran a 4.49 unofficial, and then, moved it back to the official time of 4.52, which wasn't too much of a pullback because I know, I don't know what it is. They were really just trying to blow up the numbers and make the unofficial times. I don't know. Maybe it was for viewing purposes, but the times that were unofficial were so shit. And, they tried to make them it was blatant that they were just over-exaggerating the speed of people. But his only move back, I guess, 0.3 of a second would be it. So, not that crazy. Great 40 time. It's the fastest 40 time of any active quarterback in the NFL. So, that's considering Lamar Jackson did not run the 40 at the Combine. But anyways, very good numbers, very good vertical as well as broad jump. So, really performed well there. Really good to see. Definitely didn't hurt his draft stock. 100% raised it as well. So there's a lot of teams. The Lions have the second pick. I don't think they go that high. Texans have the third pick. They could, though. That's the thing. Pro days still have to happen, and Desmond's one, rollout throw to the left across his body, pass away from being the number 1 overall pick, or number 2 overall pick. That's how those pro days work. So we'll see. There's still a lot that happens, and shit changes so quick, especially with quarterback. People just get these hunches and just love them out of nowhere. So Desmond could easily, he could go any. I think, I don't want to even say this, but man, I can't imagine he doesn't go first round. To be honest, I'd be hard pressed to see a team not taking him somewhere in the first round. I think that's almost guaranteed lock. So, of those teams, the most likely, in my opinion, which my opinion doesn't mean much, I would say, man, there's teams early that really need a quarterback. So, the Lions, I guess they have the goofball, but do they stick it out? I don't know. I also don't want Desmond to go to the Lions. So, please no. Texans also please no, but man, that's possible. The Panthers, that'd be pretty cool. Of those teams, I'd say the Panthers. The Seahawks now need a quarterback. Cool team, cool atmosphere, rebuilding, very far away, so unfortunate for us. But, Seattle could be a good team. I guess the Redskins, have they done anything? I don't think they've done anything with the quarterback. Of course, free agency matters here too. There's trades that could happen as well. So nothing's set in stone. But, I mean, the Steelers, they just got Mitch Trubisky. But are you really convinced that Mitch Trubisky is their guy? I'm not. I think he can still play. I think he can still maybe, get a trial at starting quarterback somewhere in the league, but I don't necessarily know if that's the guy you really want to commit to. But anyways, that's coming up. Other than that, the NBA, I'm a Chicago fan out of everything besides the NFL, just because my dad was a Dolphins fan. And then other than that, I guess I was a Cubs fan very early, so we went to a bunch of Cubs games growing up, and it was like, you know what, I might as well just take Chicago sports, other than the Dolphins, because that was just an allegiance that could not be broken. The Bulls slid kind of after All-Star break a bit. Won their first game, they went on a 5-game skid, but now they're on a 2-game win streak, and they're still sitting around 4th in the East, so they should be in the playoffs. There's no reason they shouldn't. There's still a little bit more basketball to be played. I guess they play 82 games, and they're at 67. So 15, if my math is correct, more games. And then the NBA playoffs, which I'm trying to get more into the NBA regular season, but haven't as much. Definitely been paying attention, keeping track. But I actually really like this Bulls team, so it's going to be fun to see them in the playoffs. Hopefully they make it, of course, but should be fun. And then the Cubs, MLB, coming back. First, they are no longer striking or whatever was going on. We'll open up against the Brewers and on April 7th. And if you paid attention to the MLB at all last year, you saw the Cubs completely dismantle basically everything that was built from 2016 when they won the World Series. So it's going to be interesting. It probably isn't going to be very fun as a fan, I'm going to be honest. But, we were lovable losers for quite a while. We could do it some more years maybe. I would like to see them good, of course. But go Cubs. We'll see how it goes. I'll be keeping track as well with that. Moving on to, I guess, the most pressing sporting event of the times currently. It is March. It is March Madness, baby. Yesterday, we had the Selection Sunday. The Cats were unfortunately not playing in the SEC Championship, having lost on Saturday to Tennessee. Those damn Volunteers. But The Cats came out with the 2 seed. I guess, I don't know. Does it really mean, I guess maybe they're the last 2 seed. Is that what it means when they're in that bracket? I don't really know how it works from that on. I know the 1 seeds is based that way, the last team they show, but I don't know about the other seeds if that's like the worst 2 seed. That can't be the way it works. But anyways, not a great draw for the Cats. Having Purdue as the 3 in that bracket there, and then who's the 3 and then 4. Cannot find it. UCLA. So those are 2 pretty dangerous teams. UCLA, they've struggled a bit here and there, but they can get real hot. Definitely a tournament team that can make some noise. I mean, they're a 4 seed. They're not a bad team, of course. Purdue looked really good in the Big Ten tournament, and they got some big boys who, I mean, I think Oscar can still work around them. I think he has a lot more quickness than their big guys. But I think they have Edie. I think it's Edie on Purdue. He's like 7'4" or something. So they got some ogres in the paint, and Oscar's not the tallest guy, but I mean he'll outwork them. So it'll be a good matchup to see. Maybe we don't even play him though. Is the thing. It is March, and that's what I've kind of been saying the whole time. You could talk about draws. You can talk about who. Has the easiest road, but at the end of the day, it's March Madness, and shit's gonna happen. So there's no real way of knowing until they start playing, so you got to take it one game at a time. We got the St. Peter's. I think we got the Pelicans, man. I think they're the Pelicans. So fun little mascot matchup there, and then Murray State. They're a 30-win team, so yeah, like I said. Not the easiest draw. Baylor is the 1 seed who, won the national championship last year. So they can definitely play. That's undeniable. So it is basketball at the end of the day. It's March Madness. Crazy shit's going to happen. We'll go more into, I guess, maybe what we think happening when I have some more people on. But I guess tonight I'm going to run through it. I don't know these teams very well. I'm going to do the first 4 since just for some fun. I'm just going to pick some teams and something I can hold myself accountable to, and some people or teams I can root for that I just really don't care about that first game. Let's see here. Texas Southern versus Texas A&M. What is that? CC? Corpus Christi? I don't know. Let's do Texas Southern. That's going to be the first game we have. It's tomorrow at 6:40. The game after that, Wyoming and Indiana. Indiana, suck it. I'm going for Wyoming. That game's going to be at 9:10. And then on Wednesday, March 16th, we got Wright State and Bryant. Let's do Wright State in that one. That'll be I already said that's at 6:40. And then Rutgers and Notre Dame. Honestly, I just don't like Notre Dame either. So Rutgers. And there you have it. We're going Texas Southern, Wyoming, Wright State, and Rutgers. Those are my picks. I did no research on any of these teams. It was pure feeling. And, if you've ever done any kind of bracketology as a semi, I mean, I guess you're amateur, but like everyone likes to act like they know what the hell's going to happen. We don't. The best people are the people who really just don't know. Of course, you're not going to be picking 16s over 1, so some base knowledge of what's happening definitely helps. But at the end of the day, those playing games, I bet you could ask half your friends, or maybe all your friends, or just anyone on the street. Say, pick me these 4 games. They're probably going to get 1 or 2 wrong. So we'll see what happens. Let's have some fun. It's March Madness. It's good to be back, too. It's good to be back on the mic. It's going to be fun to have some people in with me as well later this week, and we can really kind of dive into the tournament and dissect it a bit. And, man, we just get to watch the tournament, too, so it's going to be a fun time. I'm hoping for not an early exit. I'm hoping for a national championship, of course, for the Kentucky Wildcats. I'm not going to make any Louisville jokes because that's too much of a low-hanging fruit. But go Cats, baby. Hoping for a long run because the tournament just isn't fun when your team's not going past at least the Sweet 16. So let's do it. It's great to be back on the mic. I said that once again. But everyone listening, I love y'all at home. Thank you for your support. Thank you for bearing with me after a bit of a absence from the studio. But hey, we keep moving forward. It's not always going to be the fastest progress, but we will be moving forward and going ahead. So anyways, once again, love y'all. Thanks for listening. This is the Purple Podcast, episode number 14.